Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host Andre C. I can't speak as usual.
No.
And right over here, right over there, it's my co-host, the wonderful, the awesome, the ever wonderful Taco Princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
Hi. It's been a couple days since I had tacos. I think I need to rectify that problem.
Was it Saturday?
Yeah. Actually, I had leftover taco stuff yesterday, so.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I'm doing great, Andre. We are halfway through the week. We are halfway through watching some amazing wrestling that we caught up from on the weekend. But how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Been busy, work, watching wrestling, just life in general has been busy, and I enjoy it because it makes life go by that much quicker.
Just ticks our days away closer to the inevitable, right?
It just gets me closer to seeing Prozac and just gets me closer to All In.
Yes.
And then time just ticks away until I get to see Mike Bailey. It's always looking forward to the next big event for me.
Progression, my friend.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we are here to talk to Impact X New Japan Multiverse United 2. Before we get into that, I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all for the great support, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below because we love to hear from you guys. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello. So we are recording this on Wednesday, August 23rd, and today the wrestling world lost a legend in one Mr. Terry Funk. I'm going to bring him up here to right there. The Funker, guy was a legend. Wanted to talk to him because we talked Japanese professional wrestling. Yes, he didn't work for New Japan itself, but he had a tenure for 20 years in All Japan, in and out of there with his brother Dory, tag teaming over there, winning the tag league one year. They had a great matches with Sheik and Abdullah. And then Stan Hansen, Bruder Brody, Giant Baba, so many great feuds over in All Japan, which influenced what we are watching today in New Japan Pro Wrestling, because it all leads into the same way. And then he also came back to Japan in the mid '90s, joining the International Wrestling Association of Japan. And this is where he actually had his no ropes, exploding barbed wire boards, and exploding ring time bomb death match with Cactus Jack, aka Mick Foley. I had to read that just to make sure it's literally written that way.
Sounds like a Zack Sabre Jr. move.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, that's one of the more legendary Japanese death matches coming from Mick, and you got to wrestle his idol in Terry Funk on that match. So we did lose Terry Funk today at the age of 79. He led a long life, and I think we can finally say Terry Funk is retired from wrestling, because even up till just recently we couldn't say that because the man kept coming back, but the man is now finally gets to retire and join that association in heaven, I guess. The Heaven Wrestling Association.
I was gonna say, let's be honest. He didn't retire. He's just wrestling in another.
Oh yeah, he moved on. He moved on up to Wrestle for God. There we go. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Terry Funk, who his mark on Japanese professional wrestling and professional wrestling as a whole, with ECW, with everything. Just the guy. He influenced it all, and appreciate what he did for the Japanese professional wrestling scene. The crazy stuff and the great technical wrestling stuff that he was known for in his younger days. So we'll miss you, Terry.
Very sad.
Yeah. But we are going to move on. We're going to talk some Impact X New Japan Multiverse United 2. We got this show. Yeah, I got to hang out with Mel, and we were supposed to live stream a watch along with our girl Astrid, but
glorious chaos. We're not gonna say anything specific happened. It was just glorious chaos of three disorganized people trying to plan something organized.
Well, and when one of the people didn't show up to where we're watching it till showtime, and other people thought it was at other times, it just glorious chaos. We didn't get to, but we did just jump onto thing, and we did hang out with Astrid throughout the show and just chatted with her as we all
Mhm.
watched the show. So I really did enjoy that. So I loved watching it with you too. It was a great time.
Yes. It was nice to have
Yeah,
some company for the show.
yeah. We watched 2 shows 2 nights in a row together. That's weird.
We did,
We
yeah.
did. We did. So we are going to kick it off. It is the pre-show. We did not actually watch the pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to say.
No,
Uh, I heard a buzz.
says
Wonder
the
what.
phone.
I wonder what of Mel's is buzzing right now.
Seriously,
It's her phone.
bruh.
We got a 6-man tag team match. It's a Rocky Romero and 6 or 9 Master Wato and the Gooch Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Heath, Joe Henry, and Yuya Uemura. Heath, Joe Henry, and Yuya Uemura did get the win in this match. Yeah. So again, good little spot, and young lion on the women team there, or
I
excursion lion,
mean,
whatever
I'm
you
not
want to
gonna
call it.
lie. Let's look at the teams though. We got 3 juniors and Watto, Rocky, and Taguchi taking on 1 junior in Yu Uemura and 2, I would say, heavyweights in Joe Hendry and Heath.
Yeah.
Do we really
Yep.
think that there was going to be another outcome on that one?
Maybe the juniors pinning Yuya Uemura. Maybe that's about it. That's the only other outcome I could see, is if they
Yeah,
pinned Uemura, because again, he is a lion on excursion. So
he is. However, when you pair him with 2 heavyweights, I think it kind of like acts as like a protection for him in some
mhm.
way,
Oh yeah, I'm
but
glad he
also
got
the
the.
experience of the 2 of them.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
We move on. It's the other countdown to the multiverse match. It is Impact Digital, the Impact Digital Media title. Kenny King defending against Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Sad to say, Kenny King retained his title.
I mean, I didn't think that there was going to be a title change, unfortunately.
I
I
would have
just wish
loved
I
to.
got to see this match.
I would have loved to see have there been a title change, because, goddamn, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, all his matches are on digital media. They're all on New Japan World. That is the perfect place to defend the Impact Digital Media title.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing at all. But from the match that we saw the night before on the All Star Junior, there, Yoshinobu Kanemaru kind of was not performing to the Kanemaru status that we're used to seeing him. He is still the heel master within just 5 guys, and he was not healing or heel mastering at all. So I would like to kind of try to get a hold of this match and see what kind of happened with this one before I kind of say anything more on it. But yeah,
Yeah.
if it was any indication of how he performed the night before, sad.
We move on to the opening match of the pay per view itself. It was an 8-man scramble. It's Chris Sabin, Frankie Kazarian, Bushi, Rich Swan, El Desperado, Yo, Mao, 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 and Kevin Knight. 8-man lockup at the start. Like, it was great to see. And then
Mhm.
Mao's like going like around, like just doing those weird, most erratic movements. As you were
Yeah.
cooking, as you were working on the chicken wings at this point, and
Mhm.
I couldn't stop laughing at Mao. He was just so gosh darn entertaining.
He was really funny in this one. Yeah, this was definitely more of a like a comedy match, I
Mm.
think, to open up the show.
Yeah, like a good, like it kind of like a mix of X Division and comedy in this match. Like you got some
Mhm.
really good wrestling, but then you get some really fun. You get some funny, humorous spots in here. Uh,
Mhm.
Melball sitting there calling Rich Swan Rich King.
I and like just so casually about it, just like Rich King doing this. He's like, who? I'm like, Rich King. He's like, yeah, that's Rich Swan. Yes, it is. Like, I don't even know how I confuse them. Like, yeah, they look so much alike.
Oh
That
yeah,
full
so
head of hair
cool.
that
That
Rich
full head
King
of hair.
has.
Rich King with his deep tan.
That deep tan and that full head of dreads. Jesus, Murphy, help
Uh,
us.
Kaz has been doing that springboard leaping leg drop, for years and years and years. But it just always impresses me when he does it. It just always
Mm.
looks so crisp, so smooth. Like he never slips. He like I don't think I've ever seen that man slip going for that move. And like everybody slips on a springboard dive one time. He didn't. I don't think I've ever seen him slip on that one. So
I don't think so, no.
Mao gets like this cutter to Bushi, like just looked gorgeous in the way he hit it. So smooth, so
Mhm.
good. Um, uh, Mao's like distracting Desperado, just fucking with him, even though he was his tag team partner the day before. He's just fucking with Desperado in this match, trying to mess with him. It was actually pretty funny. Uh,
Mhm.
8-man submission hole. Everybody's got a hold on each other, and Bushi's on the one end, and then like then Yo like is like eye raking somebody, and it was just the most ridiculous train of submissions ever.
Wasn't Desperado the first person put in it?
I think so. I don't actually have written down the order, but it was just
And no, it was Bushi and Desperado. I don't know which one was on which end.
Bushi was standing at the one end, so Despy was on the ground at the other.
Yeah, so it must have been Bushi who impacted the rest of the move because I remember they started bickering after, and you were like, "Oh, he's mad because he wasn't helping him."
Yeah, and like Bushi has it, and then he grabs the rope, and then the ref comes over and just kicks the rope to
Yeah,
get
I was so
Bushi to
mad at
break.
that.
He was so mad at that. I loved it. Big Tower of Doom with Swan coming down, taking the worst of it, and then Knight comes flying off the top with a frog splash for 2, following
Mhm.
that Tower of Doom to Swan. Knight hits a beautiful sky high power bomb to Yo for 2. Kaz gets the slingshot cutter to Kevin Knight, and Desperado then hits Kaz with a rough looking spine buster. And then Saban comes in, picks up Yo, hits the cradle shock, and gets the win. And then after the match, Bushi decides, I'm just going to spit in Saban's face and blacklisted them.
I mean, all's fair in love and war, right?
Very true. Very true.
I mean, I think the crowd would have been disappointed if they didn't see
Yeah.
someone get misted, especially with Bushi. They brought him over specifically just for that.
Yeah.
But
Pretty much.
yeah, it was actually interesting because, like, not gonna lie, I kind of forgot Saban was in this match at one point. He just kind of disappeared. Same with Kazarian. Kazarian was there and he did his stuff, and then suddenly I didn't see him again. I was like, "Where'd you go?" But that's kind of also what we kind of expect in some of these big kind of cluster matches. Essentially, is you lose track of a person or two who's recovering or taking a nappy nap or reading a comic book or something on the side there, waiting for their turn. Um, yeah, this one was a fun opener, fun little comedy bit, especially with the little almost thumb bum spot.
Close, but no, not that cigar.
Thank goodness.
We move on to a tag team match. Eddie Edwards and Moose taking on my boys. It's TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr., and Mr. Shane Hayes. God, I love these. I love those two.
Mhm.
Sabre and I wrote ZSJ and Sabre. Why the heck did I write it like that? I meant to say ZSJ and Haste working over the arm of Edwards early on, trading out, doing arm ringers and stuff.
Mhm.
Moose gets that beautiful drop kick of his. Yes, he's a
Yeah.
big dude, so he's gonna get hype. But goddamn, it's not fair. um, and then he hits the drop kick onto Hayes, and then Edwards gets him on his back and hits the backpack stunner for 2. Um, Sabre gets a Cobra twist in, then slams Eddie Edwards and gets the neck twist with the feet. It's like I love that. Uh,
Mhm.
Sabre does get the triangle choke in the ropes to Eddie Edwards. Or I think it was the Moose. I didn't write down who it was to. Beautiful chop and kick exchange between Eddie Edwards and Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. Saber gets a PK, but Eddie gets the BTB, but I don't remember what the abbreviation means. So I apologize to all of our Impact fans. I'm not sure what BTB means. Hayes gets an arm drag to stop the Uranagi by Moose, and then hits the corner ball to Moose. Moose that hits a headbutt, then a Uranagi to Hayes. Saber comes in, hits a DDT to Moose, and Eddie hits a lariat to Saber, and all 4 men are down. Flying triangle by Saber to Moose, and then transitions into a rear naked choke. Hayes gets a strike. This gets a strike to Moose, and dropping him, but he can only get a 2 count. Eddie gets the Boston knee party. The Saber then gets then Hayes gets an inverted exploder to Eddie. Then Saber sidesteps the spear from Moose, gets a roll up for 2, but he can't get the pin, and Moose winds it up and spears the boots off of Shane Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Moose gets the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed,
but
yeah.
You certainly expressed more than a little malcontent for the result of this match. But we gotta remember though, we say it's not fair with Moose, but I think it is. Here's why. He may have been blessed with that beautiful drop kick, but he was certainly not blessed with that goofy little frickin' run canter thing that he does when he's supposed to be running.
That weird little flutter step thing that he does.
Yeah. He looks ridiculous to see this big guy not taking a full stride, just kind of behind you. That being said, though, I really was impressed with Eddie Edwards in this one. I know I've seen him a few times on a couple other Impact like pay-per-views that I've watched, but like his work was really, really good, really crisp. I know you'd mentioned that he's kind of like fluctuated in his career, both professionally and physically. He's kind of at a good place right now. I feel like his work and everything about him is just kind of at a really, really good level. He had an impressive look. He had an impressive performance. I thought he held his ground really well against TMDK. I love watching TMDK. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. is just a freaking magician when he gets into the ring and starts doing things. I was very, considering how the kind of like the G1 ended, Shane Hayes kind of was given that little bit of hope and had it a little snatched away. I would have appreciated if they could have given him a little bit of a nudge in this and kind of, kept things going, especially on the high from Fujita's win the night before, because it's kind of looking like Ichiban Sweet Boy, he's the newest guy. He's the youngest guy out of the dojo. He should be the one taking losses and stuff like that. Despite the amazing tutelage that he clearly has from Zack Sabre Jr. and the rest of TMDK, the fact that Shane Hayes is kind of on a losing streak right now, no bueno. Doesn't make things look good for them when they're trying to go after the IWGP championships.
Yeah, it's not bueno. Definitely not bueno.
No.
But, I'll say this, Eddie Edwards, again, I watched him in his American Wolves run with Davey Richards. I watched him winning the ROH title. And I've always thought this man is an incredible professional wrestler. It's only in the last few years when he came to Impact and has just been able to create and learn and develop into this amazing character that has influenced everything he does in the ring, because it feels more like, it doesn't feel like he's a video game character hitting all his big moves. He feels like a guy that's flowing from move to move, from sequence to sequence, great psychology, and just this. I don't know. I think Eddie Edwards is arguably one of the best guys going right now, and he's just so underrated because, and again, nothing against Impact. I love Impact, but it's such an underrated program because people wrote it off a long time ago, and he is doing some incredible work there.
Yeah. Let's hope that this work can really help, because, as you mentioned, it is incredible work. Let's hope that can add to the momentum of Impact, pick up some momentum going into 2024, especially.
Let's hope so. I really hope so. And they did say on the broadcast that Impact and New Japan have a full on working relationship now. So I kind of hope to see like a guy like Eddie or a Moose come over and mix it up with some of the New Japan guys.
Oh, could you imagine two big boys, Moose and Hikuleo? Because Hikuleo has that comparable speed and flexibility that Moose has. He just has a longer stride.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do the
And
flutter kick.
there's all these really cool things that we could be looking at, like with what Impact's
100%.
doing, and I really want to see. I'd love to see some more integration of Impact guys because again, they tape for like a month and a half in advance, and these guys could run over to Japan for 2-3 weeks in between tapings and do a tour. I would love to see that. I really
I
would.
would personally like to see some of the Stardom girls as you flipped over there start coming over.
Speaking of
And,
Stardom girls, we have an NJPW Strong women's title defense by Miss Julia taking on Deonna Purrazzo, the Alberta wrestling legend, Giselle Shaw, and Momo Kogo. I will always shout out Giselle Shaw because I think she's awesome. All three at the early on are trading pinfalls back and forth. Julia gets the octopus and I think it was onto Deonna, I think, and then Momo ends up like super kicking Julia in the face to break the octopus. It was great. Momo gets the high cross out of the corner, then she gets a 619 to Julia. Giselle pushes Julia and Momo across the corners, and then she's hitting the stomps, and it's looking like she hits that like stomp where she goes up, like very much Mercedes Moné double knee drop into the corner. She does stomp, and I was like, she hit Julia, then went into Koga. It was great. Beautiful rising knee into the leg sweep by Deonna Purrazzo to Giselle, and she gets the armbar, but it is broken up. Momo dives off the top and hits Purrazzo and Julia on the floor. That was a great dive. Julia goes for a twisting tope, Giselle with everybody on the floor goes for this like flip over like tope, like corkscrew tope over the top, and like when she came down, her like upper body hit the apron, and like her legs caught the other girls, but it was like, oh, I felt so bad for her, man.
Yeah. I think that was where she got that pretty big, nasty gash on her leg that she resulted.
And she did. So we were talking about that she had something on her boob. She did get a bruised boob. She said it online. She had a bruised boob.
Okay. I mean, they bruised you guys. They're out there. They get hit.
But we were talking about it. You said it was makeup, and it's like, no, it was an actual bruise.
Well, I thought it could have been because Deonna was wearing some pretty black looking smoky eye there. You know, if she accidentally motorboated her during the match, which happens, it could have transferred on there. I'm just saying.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. Julia has Giselle up on the top rope and starts spanking her on the top rope.
Yeah.
And then follows it up with the butterfly suplex off the top. Momo and Julia landing hard shots on Deonna and Giselle, just laying them in. Looked really good. Giselle shot. I don't know what I wrote there. I'm gonna just jump to the next one. I'm just going to move on. Giselle hits the Spanish fly to Deonna off the top, but Julia breaks up the pin. Momo hits the tornado DDT to Giselle, but Julia gets her and hits the backdrop driver. But then Deonna hits that like sit-down snuff pile driver to Julia and gets it through. Then she applies the Fujiwara armbar. But then Giselle Shaw gets the disarmer on Momo, and then they do get broken up. Backbreaker
broken up. They fought each other to get out of it.
Yeah, like they broke each other up. That's the thing. It was great. Backbreaker to the knee and the complete shot by Giselle to Deonna Purrazzo. She gets a spine buster on Momo. Julia rolls in, hits the rocket kick and a hard slap followed by the Northern Lights bomb to Giselle, and Julia gets the win, retains her New Japan Strong Championship.
This was a fun match. I felt that all four of these women had a very nice opportunity to perform. I kind of, maybe this is just me personally, but I felt it could have went a little longer. I would have liked it to have gone a little longer. Maybe have Momo and Julia show off just a little bit more for the American crowd, because this is kind of like their introduction, essentially, if they didn't know about Stardom or NJPW before. But yeah, I would have liked to see him maybe go just a tad bit longer. Otherwise, that is, whew, all these ladies came out with new gear. Even Julia's, like, it was just kind of like, it felt like a spin on her gear that she's had before. But everybody else, I think, like for me, I also don't watch Impact regularly, so I don't know what Giselle and Deanna usually wear. But from what I follow with Deanna, it looked new. But yeah.
It did. And then Mobile had new gear on, looked really good. Again, we're both just like, oh shit, she's got a third set of gear. We're like, yes.
With the little parasol and those cute little sleevey thingies.
Yeah, because she went from that red gear to the one you see in the picture there to now having even more new gear. So like, great. I'm looking forward to seeing her with new gear. Really am. Oh, and then one more thing at the end of the match, Mobile attacks Julia after the match, so Julia picks her up and hits a glorious driver.
Yeah, just because, talk shit. Get glorious drived.
Yeah. So we then move on to the next match. It's Doki versus Sami Callihan. Callihan comes out, Doki's out, then Callihan comes out, and he gets the mic and he cuts a promo and says he wants to make this a South Philly street fight. Doki says yes, I think.
I heard yes, please.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he said yes, please. It was weird, but
it was very aggressively.
The guy has manners. It's what it is. The guy has manners. And then Doki. Sorry, I apologize. It was a slip of the tongue. I have all respect in the world for Doki now. Doki gets the enziguri, sending Callihan to the floor, and Doki gets the suicide dive. Callihan gets the Death Valley driver to Doki on the floor. Callihan gets paper and decides for a card.
It's a picture of himself. It's a promo picture of himself.
Oh, it's a promo picture, and he cut the in between the fingers of Doki, and then he did it to the armpit. Like, what the hell, dude? That's just not cool.
Why though?
Because he's fucking insane.
No, that's not necessary.
No, not at all. So Callihan gets the exploder to Doki onto like an opened up chair, like just. Callihan puts a chair in the ropes, and then he goes to spear Doki into the corner, but he misses Doki, and he ends up spearing it, going headfirst into the chair. The dumbass. Doki using the kendo stick, then holds Sami Callihan into a chair, then piles chairs on top of Callihan and hits the stomp off the top for two, like onto the chairs on Callihan. It was great. Callihan stops the daybreak into the chairs and hits a magic screw, pulling a move out of the pocket of Sonata, Doki's leader. Doki then gets the leg scissors to Callihan and sends him into a ladder, then hits the daybreak for two. Doki hit Senton's onto a ladder, and it looked just like he killed himself. And Callihan gets the lariat, but only gets one. Then he hits the cactus driver, but he only gets two. And this is where the refs are saying nobody kicks out of the cactus driver. Doki's pretty tough. They're trading headbutts while sitting on chairs, and then Callihan grabs Doki by the crotch. Just got a handful of the meat and potatoes.
Handful Doki.
Yeah, and then hits the cactus driver in 97 through the stacked up chairs, and Sami Callihan gets the win. Great match for a street fight in hardcore. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this was pretty tame for a hardcore match, and I'm happy about it. I didn't want to see blood and guts and shit that we usually have with stereotypical hardcore kind of matches. I felt that this was pretty good. It was palatable for me, especially considering we're coming off of a show where we just watched June Kasai. Like, yeah, this was this was tame, and I was happy about it. I this was the match I was really not happy with the results because this was another one where we have Doki, who's a junior, very obviously a junior. Like he may have plumped up those arms, but he hasn't plumped up everything else. He's leaned out. He's gotten a little calisthenics cut. He's cutting in the waist. He's getting the bigger upper body, but like he's not a heavyweight like Callahan. So it bothers me when I see, because it's like if someone's going to have a problem with an intergender match, they should have a problem with a junior heavyweight match as well. It's essentially the same thing.
I don't have a problem with either. So
I don't either, but it needs to make sense. And for me, this one didn't really make sense.
Yeah, they wanted to put Doki in a street fight, and Callahan was the guy to
and
put him
that's
with.
fair. I just think he probably would have been better in the opener, and maybe someone else in this spot would have been better.
I just feel Doki, like, I wish they would have booked it as a South Philly street fight from the beginning, because at least it would have made more sense going in, because Doki does have a tendency to get into shit like that.
Yeah,
And
you know who else was, who I think would have been better in this spot? Desperado. I think that if we would have switched Desperado and Doki, that I would have been maybe a little bit more happier with it, because I feel like Desperado is a little bit bigger, a little bit more comparable to Callahan, but then has also, like, I know Doki does do these matches, but they're not sensationalized with him so much as they are with Desperado.
Yeah, because Despy, again, like you said, just came off Jun Gasai.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is. Yeah, that would have been interesting to see.
That being said, though, I love that they gave Doki an opportunity to be in a singles match. Because it gave him an opportunity to show off, because, like, Daybreaker is pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah. We're going to move on. It's a junior tag team match. This is all New Japan right here.
Yeah,
United Empire's Francesco Akira and TJP versus a newly formed team of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles from TMDK. I was so torn in this match because I like give me some Empire, like, right there. But, like, I got my love for the TMDK too, so then arguably I've loved TMDK longer, but I think I love United Empire a little more, so I don't know how to feel here. So it's Ospreay, man. So I don't know. I just don't know how to feel. And, like, Akira is is Ospreay Jr. Like, so TMDK, TMDK is working over Akira early. Fujita gets a calf slice around Akira early on the match. They fight back. United Empire fights back, sends TMDK to the floor, and Akira hits the high cross off the top to them on the floor. They get their electric chair sent on to to Fujita in the ring. Mel says the Fuji-do is all messed up.
They did. They messed up the Fuji-do. Oh, that scarily rolls off the tongue.
Fuji-do.
Fuji-do.
TJP gets the lace wash, but Fujita stops the running boot and gets the running forearm. Eagles, like, just the guy's ability in the ring, it's just like dynamic as fuck. He is so so smooth, so just like, he's so good. Robbie I already said that. Fujita gets the shotgun dropkick to Akira, and then Eagles hits the double running knees in the corner to Akira. Eagles gets the Ron Miller special, but Akira, but TGP does break it up. Akira hits the Ferial Ring. or the SOS. Or the SOS. It was a Ferial Ring. And Eagles goes for the turbo backpack, but Akira gets the poison Rana. Fujita hits the shotgun drop kick, but TJP reverses the wheelbarrow into a roll up, and then he hits, and then they get the double stomp neckbreaker combo out of the corner, and then TJP goes up, hits the Mama Splash for the 2. Should have been it. It should have been over right there. Eagles hits a super kick. Eagles gets a super kick and a chop kick combo. I don't know what I wrote there. And Eagles gets the corner enziguri. Fujita hits the belly to TJP for 2. Eagles hits Fujita by accident, and he gets taken out. And Yui hits that 3D Fates Buster thing that they do, or 3D X Factor thing, and they do. And then they hit the sandwich knees, and United Empire gets the win.
Yes. Not
Great
a good night for TMDK.
No.
Yeah. Jesus. These guys are just, the 4 of them, just so quick, so good. And all 4 of them very technically sound for incorporating that high speed, high fly abilities that like all 4 of them have. Even Fujita, for being such a very technical guy, if he's asked to go up, he goes up. He does what he needs to do to pick up those wins. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say on this one. I just remember enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, and Fujita, I think, is in the. I don't think there's a better team that Fujita could be with.
I agree.
He's learning technical mastery from arguably the best technical wrestler on the planet. The award, the man that has won the Daniel Bryan Award for years and got screwed over last year by Daniel Bryan. Got stolen from him. He's learning excellent, like high flying mastery from one of the best high flyers in the game in Robbie Eagles. If he goes and works with Teets and Mikey Nichols some more, he's gonna learn that how to be just a beast of a fighter, and be able to throw power around, and then just learn from Shane Haste on how just to be one of the greatest characters in professional wrestling. Like this team can create the ultimate wrestler out of Kosei Fujita if you really think about it. Yeah.
Let's hope they do.
I really hope they do. We move on. It's Bullet Club versus the World, ladies and gentlemen. Really, it's Bullet Club versus North America and Tonga, I guess.
Well, Tonga is technically not in North America.
It's part of North America, isn't it?
It's not in North America, though.
I thought it was part of North America.
It might be part of our like Commonwealth, but it's like
okay. Bullet Club
not near here.
Okay, Bullet Club versus the Western Hemisphere.
Bullet Club versus everybody else.
Yeah, so we have Bullet Club's Ace Austin, Alice Coughlin, Chris Bay, Clark Connors, David Finley, and Kenta. And then we have taking on the World of Josh Alexander, the French Canadian Frankenstein, PCO, the DKC, and the Gorillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo, Tamatonga, and Tangaloa. He is official member of that faction now. It became official, I guess, on August 13th. At the end at the show where him and Hikuleo were posing with the strong titles after the show. He became an official member that day, according to Wikipedia.
I might be a little less inclined to believe the Wicks there, but yeah, take us into this chaos.
Glorious chaos, man. Loa like flicks the hat off of Connors.
Oh, that was so funny.
So good.
So funny. And like based on what we've been seeing from Connors recently, like attacking women and children, you would expect him to go absolutely, no pun intended, ape shit at that. And he was surprisingly reserved. And I just sat there like thinking to myself, you're all fucking talk until someone a little bit bigger than you comes up and flips your hat off. Then you're just sitting there like, "Meow, meow, 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 meow."
Yeah, pretty much. He's not a woman or a child, so he's not going to attack him.
Damn it, Tonga. You
Yeah.
didn't qualify.
Tama sends Finn to the floor, hits a beautiful plancha over the top, and then an all-out brawl just starts on the floor. ELP, as I wrote, twerking the nips of Kenta.
Yeah.
He was
That was a
tweaking
thing
those
that
nips, but
happened.
I just like calling things twerking more fun. DKC getting that beautiful running cannonball looks really good. Probably like number 8 or 9 on my cannonball list.
That's fair.
Because my top is Colton Kelly, then Shane Hayes, then you. Those are my top. Those are the top 3 cannonballs out there right now.
Doesn't the thickness do a cannonball also?
He does, but those are my top 3 cannonballs. Thickness has a top 5 cannonball. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But those are my top 3. Josh Alexander just yeeting people around with those Germans, just throwing people, just throwing them across the ring. It was absolutely phenomenal. Ace Austin hits a beautiful head scissors to Alexander off the top. Looked really, really good. Ace uses a card in the place in between the fingers of Alexander. Like why did we have to see this again?
Yeah.
Josh Alexander stops the double suplex and suplexes both members of ABC, Chris Bay and Ace Austin. ELP gets the tope suicida, then hits to Bullet Club on the floor, then comes back in, hits the swanton, and then the lion salt on. I can't remember. I didn't write who onto who, but the pin does get broken up. The World Gang attack Finley. PCO gets the choke slam. DKC hits a frog splash, but he only gets 2. Alexander stops the G2S and he catches the knee as he comes down and turns it into a beautiful ankle lock. Ace Austin gets a Fosbury flop over the top rope. Beautiful. And then PCO follows it up with the mope, but he gets and he goes up and hits a moonsault. The fucking psychopath. DKC in the end gets hit by the power bomb from Finley, and Finley gets the stack and gets the win.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of expected DKC to be the one taking the pin on that.
Me too.
Unfortunately, it's just on the totem pole of stuff, both on his team and the other team. It made sense.
Right at the bottom.
Yeah, he's bottom. PCO, how the frick is he alive? How? And why?
Remember, because Dr. Frankenstein keeps bringing him back to life.
Please. Elsa that shit. Let it go. Oh my gosh. Every time, like, there were so many moments in this match where he got into the ring and I was like, he is a deer in a headlight right now. He has no idea what he's doing or where he is, or like he's just come out of an episode and he's just like, these are my friends. Like,
Pretty much.
Man.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there was a lot of, with him specifically, he did nothing wrong. He performed very well. There was just moments where like the rest of the team, including DKC and Josh Alexander, would get in there and be like, we're winning. And then there'd be PCO just sitting there on the outside of the Kumbaya circle going, like, he looks so bewildered at times. And I'm like, I love and appreciate that he's working, but like, someone, please start paying into the PCO retirement fund. Let this man go. I would rather see him helping make matches than actually being involved in them right now. It scares me every time I see him go out there. But like, thank goodness that he was with people who knew how to take care of him and make sure that he made it through the match. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better teammates and a team to go against in that respect, because like Kid wasn't there. If Kid was there, I'd be a little bit more concerned, but we got Coughlin in there. He's a little bit more controlled.
Very much so. Very much so.
Bullet Club worked very efficiently, very effectively together, considering Bay and Austin aren't typically like this is their kind of first, we're going to say, romp with this kind of um,
Yeah, because
what?
they were Jay White guys. Like
Yeah,
Bay was a Jay White guy who he brought Austin into the club,
specifically, yeah, yeah.
and then they haven't really been involved with Bullet Club since Jay left. So it's nice to see
No,
it working in properly.
I mean it's very obvious at this point which side they've chosen because they
Mm.
could have went with either, but with Juice and White being on AEW, no,
They can choose that side.
nobody chooses that side. Nobody, sir. But yeah, they could have really taken any side on the Bullet Club conundrum, if it as you will. Um, I would say, arguably, for the two of them, they did the best decision.
Oh yeah, very much so. So we
With the
move
impact.
on. It's the semi-main event of the evening. It's the four
Mhm.
of the men who are on the thumbnail for this video. It's Leo Rush, Trey Miguel taking on Hiromu Takahashi and Mike Bailey. Right now, Leo is the current Impact Wrestling X Division champion, and Hiromu is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight champion.
Mhm.
Lots of great back and forth early on in the match. Hiromu with the dragon screw leg whip to Trey. Speedball kicks by Bailey to Trey Miguel. Leg trap German by Trey to Bailey. Michinoku driver by Leo to Bailey for 2. Inside out moonsault with that springboard inside out moonsault by Mike Bailey. I always am scared when somebody does that because I feel like they're gonna like hit the apron going for the
Mhm.
inside to the out, but he's hit it successfully every time. So he hits it onto Trey and Leo on the floor. Hiromu then hits a dive onto Trey Miguel. Then Leo comes in and Lopez Hiromu Takahashi. Bailey and Leo Rush trading awesome kicks in the ring to each other. Looked really good. Miguel gets the stomp. Trey Miguel gets the stomp to the back, and then twisting down kick uh, to Hiromu, like that spin into the kick, like the down kick, which was really
Hmm.
good. Um, Bailey gets a roundhouse, and they get the double, and him and Hiromu get the double super kick to Miguel, and they hit the ultimate time bomb, which is the ultimate weapon into the time bomb. But Leo Rush stops the pin. Trey Miguel rakes the eyes to stop the time bomb and hits a suicide DDT to Bailey on the floor, and Rush hits the rush hour, which is the springboard stunner to Hiromu, but only gets. I wrote 3, but he only got 2 there. I don't know why I wrote 3. Um,
Was that when the ref actually hit the mat 3 times, but it was only a 2 count?
That might be why I wrote that. That might be it. Trey Miguel comes off Leo into a meteor to Bailey off on the floor. Romo gets the knees up for the final hour. Gets the DVD into the corner to Leo Rush. Rush then punches Hiromu in the dick when the ref is distracted and rolls him up and just puts a big flat black mark on this match with the finish, and he gets the win. God damn it!
You said he was a heel, though.
Yes, but
Okay.
I still don't. It was such an incredible match, and you had to end it in an evil way. That was very much an evil finish, and
Yeah,
it looked
when
like
you're a heel, yeah.
no evil in the shitty wrestler that we've been dealing with. Evil. That's what I mean by evil. Like
Oh, well, I mean, maybe that's who he was hanging out with when he was over there. Maybe he wasn't hanging out with Yo. Maybe he was actually hanging out with Show.
and maybe that's why Yo's got such an attitude on him these days.
Hey, I mean, yeah, I've been telling you. It's not a good attitude, not a good look. And look what happens. See
It's
what
true.
happens.
It's
Yeah,
true.
I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the end of this either. Incredible match, though. It was
Mm-hmm.
really awesome to see Bailey and Hiromu with matching gear, where
Yeah.
like Bailey had those little touches of fluff on them, just like Hiromu's and he's got the little flag thing on his foot. It was very similar to Hiromu's. I really, really like that. I thought it was a nice little touch. Yeah, I found it odd that the two champions were the ones deciding the end of this, and I really disliked. Again, you know how much I hate ball punches in general, but like to have it end such a fun match like that, it was a letdown.
Yeah, it was a bit. Like I don't know. It's one of those things where you just sit there and go,
It's like someone pulled the
really?
rug out from underneath you when you're having a good time. You're just like
Yeah.
la 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 la, and suddenly you're ass over tea kettle and you don't know what happened.
So yeah, after the match, since Leo did get the win, he's demanding a match against Hiromu for the title, and but then Mike Bailey's in the ring going, "No, I get in the title shot because I won the tournament yesterday." So it is official for Destruction in Ryogoku on Monday, October 9th. We have. Oh, I scrolled right past it. Sorry. We have for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. We have Hiromu Takahashi defending against Leo Rush and Mike Bailey.
Way to cut in line.
I'm down to watch that match. I'm excited, man. Those three are going to kill it.
Yeah, it's going to be nice because we've already gotten like one-on-ones between combinations of the three men minus Trey because he wasn't at the Super Junior thing. It'll be a fun match. Some slimy tactics. Slimy. Slime isn't always good, people.
Slip, slop, slip, swash. I don't know what to say here.
Don't say those again.
Slip, slosh.
Jesus.
Oh God, Jesus! All right, we're gonna move on to the main event because we're getting close to the hour mark here. It's Alex Shelley defending his Impact World title. I almost said IWGP. His Impact World title versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Really good back and forth wrestling early on. Tana pulls Alex through the ropes, under the ropes, and crotches him on the post, and then just wraps the knee around the post to damage the knee, and he starts attacking the knee. Shelley really starts working over the arm in this match. Beautiful standing sliced bread for two by Shelley, and then after the two, he transitions into the Border City stretch. Drop kick to the knee by Tanahashi, applies the cloverleaf, but it was not locked in very well. It was very sloppy in the way he had it. Shelley was still hurting him, but not to what it should have been. Drop kick, twist and shout 3 times by Tanahashi and follows those up with the sling blade, but he only gets 2. Tanahashi misses the high fly flow, and Alex Shelley hits the knee to the back of the head, then hits the Motor City Maker for 2, his version of the Rainmaker. Tana then gets the bridging German for 2. He follows it up with the sling blade. Why does it say sling player? What the hell? That must have been my phone autocorrecting sling blade to sling player. He gets the sling player, but then he goes up to the top. I get stopped up top. He gets an arm bar up top, but Tana fights Shelley off. And Shelley hits headbutts and gets an air raid crash off the top for 2. The end of the match comes. Shelley gets the shell shock, otherwise known as the Blade Runner or the Sister Abigail, and gets the win.
I was worried about this match when I saw it announced.
It ended up being a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, it did end up being very, very good. But I was very worried when I first saw it because Alex Shelley has been in this business a hot minute. He is so good, so talented, and still so quick because he's smart. He's very smart with himself and his injuries and stuff. And wrestlers always have these injuries. Any athlete has these little nagging injuries. Honestly, you can take care of them so that they don't become a Tana-sized issue by the time you're at Tana's point of your career. I mean, before the ring hit, again, Tana looking stiff. I was very worried. And then when you told me he didn't have his teeth in, I was like, oh, Lord help us. He's going down, and he's going down swinging. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, he did really, really well this match. As soon as that bell goes, it's like 10 years gets knocked off of his life, and he's back down to 30 and performing a little bit more like that. It was actually a really, really great match. I was very, very happy with this. But I always worry when I see Tanahashi now.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, you never know what could happen to this man, and he's not taking the time off he needs to take to heal up and get better, and you just worry. You just worry about the guy.
Because I want to see him work another 10 years. I want to see him be able to Ric Flair his career, to Muda his career, to Nakanishi his career, and just go, go, go. But man, like, Nakanishi was, I think, 10 years older than Tanahashi when he retired and still moving better. You know, take
Yuji
care of your
Nagata.
knees.
Yuji
Yuji
Nagata's like
Nagata?
55. Like he's 55. He's 8 years
A
older than
decade older?
He's 8 years older than, or 9 years older than Takahashi or
Yeah.
Tanahashi, and he moves better than he does. But again, Yuji Nagata has taken breaks. He's gone when he's had an injury. He's gone home. He's
Yeah.
taken the time off he's needed to, especially in the later years. He takes his
Mhm.
breaks. He does what he needs to do. Tanahashi will not take a break, and that's what's going to be his downfall.
And it scares me because as a fan, I don't want to see anything bad happen in the ring. But man, Tana, please. I remember when I first started watching NJPW, that was when he had first torn his bicep and he was refusing to get that fixed. The detriment that can have on your body, I mean, just basic movement cannot be easy.
Like I'm scared of the day he's running for a sling blade and blows out his knee, but he blows it out because of how damaged they are. He blows it at the point that he ain't gonna ever be able to get back in a ring. That scares
Mm.
me. I love
Or
seeing him.
complete match, yeah.
I love seeing him. Don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
worry. The more you see him when he's walking down the ring, you can see him like taking gingerly steps because of
Mhm.
his knees hurting him. It's like you worry.
Yes. We love watching him wrestle. That's why we worry.
Yeah. But we've come to an end of another episode of
Mhm.
NJPW Puroresu Review, Impact X New Japan Multiverse United 2. I absolutely had a great time watching that show. Mel, thank you
Yeah.
for having me over to watch that show in person. I loved it.
Yes, we had chicken wings and chippies and all kinds of good stuff.
I brought the chips and candy, and Mel made the chicken. So
Yes, I did.
it worked out well. So we're gonna get out of here, but before we get out of here, you can we're gonna give her everything where we're gonna be. You can find me at X Mastodon, Blue Sky, Hive at that Canada guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that Canada. You can find me on Facebook right over here at the Andre Melball Wrestling Talk Facebook page. You can also find me in the comments on our Facebook on our YouTube page. You drop a comment, myself and Mel will be responding to you. I love getting the alerts of people commenting, so please do that. You can
Mhm.
also find me popping up in random times, random places on whatever show I randomly pop up on. Half the time I just pop up in the chat on the Our Local Establishment Twitch streams at twitch.tv/Our Local Establishment. They also live stream on youtube.com/at Our Local Establishment. But talking about where I'm going to pop up this upcoming weekend, please, this Saturday night. Don't have a time view, but I will be dropping on socials over the next couple of days. You can find me on Mike the Ref's Twitch page at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. We're going to be breaking down and giving our predictions and just talking about the all-in card, the build, what we've thought of it, the build, what makes us super excited for this show. I think the thing I'm most excited for the show is just to sit in my jammies and watch this show with my friends. But
Mhm.
but I'm super excited for that. So me and Mike will be talking about this show and we'll be breaking it down Saturday night, giving you our preview, giving you all the information you're going to want to know about this show before you tune in at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. You can see the replay for that at youtube.com/at Backbreaker video on Sunday morning. You can and then don't forget, Mike has so much great gaming content going on his Twitch channel, but it all gets replayed at youtube.com/at backbreaker_gaming, where there's him, there's Mr. PJC, there's Mr. Rick Jules, and the wonderful, wonderful Kayla J keeps popping in and doing streams with Mike, and I love it. There's a golf stream going up in the next few days. Please check that one out. Kayla J and Mike just hanging out, having a relaxing night, playing some golf. It was a good stream. It was a really fun stream to watch. And Kayla J did say to you to tell me to say hello to you, Mel, when we talked that when I was in the chat. So
Oh, Kayla J. I love
Kayla
Kayla
J.
J.
Yeah, Mel
She's
Ball.
amazing. Yes.
Where can the humans of this world and all the non-humans and all the other things in this world find you?
Well, that covered everybody, didn't it? If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me on our local establishments programming Paramindful, along with Alex the Werewolf and the Gold Standard Carl Carafel. We just dropped a fun video on mermaids, lore about them and what we think they really are and what we think that they're doing down there. Yet we can't see them. That's the point. You can also catch me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel with our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We put up every couple of weeks. We've been a little slacky on it. Astra's been pretty busy. Busy girl, getting a lot of opportunities. And we're going to be back this week, though, with topics about Stardom Wrestling and a little bit more follow-up on this whole drama following Mephisto and her ideas about the AEW locker room. You don't want to miss out on that. Mm-hmm. That being said, Andre, do you have anything else to say? Oh, wait. I have to tell you guys that if you want to watch NJPW, you can go to NJPW-World.com. We will leave a link in the channel description to get there. It is 999 yen, or approximately $10 Canadian, which is actually more like $7.15 American, which, you know, do the math. There's an app for that, I'm sure. But it's still an amazing price to watch some amazing wrestling. You can also go back in the NJPW databanks there and catch some of the older shows from years past. You dive down into 2017, you're going to find one of my favorite indie guys back in the day. I don't know what happened to him, but I sure hope he resurfaces. Maybe he went extinct. But if you find Dinosaur, you let a Melball know.
And if you're a WWE fan, go back to 2012, 2013, and check out a guy named Prince Devitt. You might know as Finn Balor. He has some great stuff there.
I believe there was also Pac was there way back in the day as well, around the same time. Did not look like the Pac now. Not even a little. And that being said, Andre, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, commenting, talk, and just engaging with us.
Do we have any ding-dongs?
Oh, and hit the notification bell.
Ding-dong.
Hello.
Missing our own cues. And that should be an indication on what we need to do now. That being said, I'm your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.